What up? It's your boy Nick Incredible Man, and this is 911 Lone Star, Season 3, Episode 14, Impulse Control. What the what? Let's talk about it, man.
I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings, I'ma be fine.
This episode started all light and cheery and energetic and funny and just so different than what I expected. Now, I saw the clip last week where this was coming, so we knew the gunfire was going to come and we knew that Owen was going to charge, but we didn't know the context. We didn't know how it was going to happen or what it actually was. So then we started watching this episode. I'm thinking and hoping that, well, I know that the gunshot's coming, but I did not expect this episode to start and end this way, because this was something else, man. My mind is blown because we meet this particular dude this episode, aka Al, also known as Lord Butt. But this episode started off so fun and energetic and funny, and to end in a weird way, man. A very weird way. We see that Al and his family is out trying to have dinner at this restaurant. The speaker box is messed up where they're ordering their food, and then they get this rude cashier guy that's handing them and handling their food. And Al just so happens to have anger management problems. And, well, anger problems, not anger management problems. He has anger problems, and he needs anger management. We see that, I honestly, to be fair, I feel where Al is coming from. Like, you know, the dude insulted his wife, man. You know, like, whether she's a little heavier than most or not, that doesn't matter. She's his wife. And you can't sit there and talk about another man's wife without them getting defensive. Now, I'm not saying you run around and put your hands on people, because we all know how that turned out, right? But what I'm saying is that he can't expect this man to just sit there oh, well, he's talking about you, baby. You okay? You know what I'm saying? Of course, a real man is going to stand up, whether he put hands on him or not. But you may come across the wrong dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Al was like 6'6" and all muscle, I guarantee you dude wouldn't have said that, because Al was, you know, was a little heavy set himself, so he felt like he had the audacity to say that. But Al decided to jump through the window. It just wasn't working for Al, you know. So then Al gets stuck, and just so happens this is they try to lube him up with the lube, but the lube wasn't working. So they had to hit him with the lard, and that's where the nickname Lard Butt comes in. And, you know, it's a hashtag, it's a meme all over the internet. It was a lot. Al had to take care of a lot of stuff. But Owen told him about going to therapy, and it was nice to see how everybody chimed in on the conversation. Was like, yeah, Cap used to go to therapy, you know, because he had serious anger problems. I will say this, though, man. Anger management doesn't work. I went to anger management, and they told me, you know, they told me if I feel myself getting angry, count to 10. That ain't gonna do nothing but make me more mad. I'm just being real, man. But we see that Al just so happens to bump into the 126 on multiple occasions this episode, man. The first time he got stuck in the window. The second time he's at his son's wrestling match. The other kid's father is calling his son's name, and the kid does like an illegal takedown on his son and kind of hurts him a little bit. And Al just runs and just attacks this man's son. Now, to be fair, sure, the kid was cheating and his dad was talking about your son. I get that. But you can't be running around putting your hands on other people's children, Al. Anger problems or not, you can't be doing that. And Al paid the consequences because he got stuck inside the bleachers. So they didn't have to lube him up this time, but they had to cut the bleachers to get him out. And, you know, at that moment, or that point, he felt like this is rock bottom. Now I know I got anger problems and I need to go deal with these. So that was, you know, his wake up call, if you will. And just so happens, as he's going to do that, that's where the whole story of this episode kind of revolves and changes lanes, if you will, so to speak, because the guy that was driving the truck, dude is drinking and driving. He has a gun, waving it down the freeway or highway or whatever they were on, and boom, bam, he flips his car. And Al is just all kinds of upset because he was trying to be calm about it, you know, even with the dude, you know, blowing his horn and passing him and everything. Al was cool with it. He kept his cool, but he just wasn't feeling it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Once his family actually got hurt. And The paramedics came on scene, and sure, their first goal is to save this dude because his life was being threatened by the fire and the smoke and the car crashes. So they had injuries. His family had injuries, but they were non-existent. Well, I mean, I take it back. They weren't non-existent, but they were non-life-threatening injuries. You know what I'm saying? So they had to take care of him first. But Al somehow got a hold of the gun before the police and everybody got on scene. And the moment he found out that that guy was going to live or make it, thanks to Mateo, Al just unloaded the gun on this dude, man. Owen kind of caught it right at the last minute, but Al just unloaded the gun on this man and killed him right in front of it. I feel like a lot of bad stuff happens to Nancy. I feel like a lot of bad stuff really happens to Nancy. But we also see that Owen kind of comfort everybody and telling them that, you know, hey, this isn't your fault. I don't want any of you thinking that this is your fault. None of you take this home with you because you've done everything you possibly could. This was just out of our control today. This was just something else. But we see that Nancy and Mateo are trying to comfort each other because they're both in a weird situation because it happened right in front of Nancy. And then we have Mateo that kind of gave Al that extra nudge. Well, I don't want to say nudge, but, you know, gave him that A-okay, if you will. It was like, yeah, man, he's going to be fine. Oh, okay, cool. Blam, 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 blam. You know, so Mateo feels kind of bad. Now, I feel like they may be trying to push Mateo and Nancy together, and I don't want that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'll hold my reservations, but I feel like I like them better as friends. I don't want them to be a couple. I like them better as friends. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they're angling, but I feel like it's definitely heading down that road. And I don't want that. I like them better as friends, but I'll reserve judgment and I'll hold off and see if they push them in that direction. And even if they do make a decent relationship or couple, if you will, I'll hold off. But, you know, I don't want it to happen. You know, I was kind of, I feel like Mateo could find somebody, but I mean, I feel like him and Nancy and the whole crew, I like them better as friends. You know, kind of like the whole Paul and Marjan thing. If they could do that, I'm totally cool with it. I don't see them really doing a relationship thing. Now let's talk about Tommy. Tommy and her brother-in-law kissed. I mean, it's weird, but I get it. They're both hurting. They were drinking a little bit. Hey, baby, things just happen. I ain't one to judge, but I'm just saying. I mean, come on, man. What? Man, Tommy and her brother-in-law kiss. Now, we see that they have like a weird relationship because she felt some type of way because he didn't show up to his brother's funeral. But we learned that he did show, he just couldn't get out of the car because it was so traumatizing. And we learned that him and Tommy don't have the best relationship. But then, like, you know, they're trying to hash out their problems. And we see that they end up kissing. And now she invited him to stay at her house while he's in town on tour, so he could be there with his nieces and, you know, just help. Oh my God. I don't see how they going with this, man. I can see them there to comfort each other, but they better not be having no relationship. I promise you that. But anyway, man, it was weird, but it was nice for Tommy as well. Now, this is what I was really excited about this episode. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the other stuff, but Catherine and Owen decided to give it another go. And then Owen stuck his foot in his mouth yet again and ruined things. Man, come on, man. You up here talking about this lady and telling her that you ain't got no problems, that she got problems too. Come on, man. No, Owen. Him and Catherine, it was so close. It was so close. And you ruined it, Owen. You ruined it. But we see that Catherine told him that she's willing to give their relationship another chance only if he promises to go to therapy, because Owen has a bunch of rage and anger issues. And after this whole ordeal that happened with Al and the shooting and everything, Owen finally comes to his senses and realizes that, you know, you may be right. You know, I might have a couple problems. And we see that he actually sits down with his therapist and takes this serious. You know, I have rage issues. So I'm glad that he's really talking about it, but I don't really see it being more of a rage. It's more of a anger and a controlling thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if he can't have control, you know, it's not for him. You know what I'm saying? But I am glad that Catherine is willing to give him a chance. And even though it's only if he goes to therapy, but you see that he's actually going. So maybe he's hoping that, you know, if I get this right, you know, I'll be right to be in the right state of mind for our relationship. So I'm excited for that, and I'm glad that she gave him another chance. This is what incredible, man. Don't forget to smash the like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.
All out and I am here to stay right now. So don't call